Hey guys, this is Kayla with Persevere Reiki. For those of you that have been following my journey for a while, I haven't been going on camera, so my spirit guides have really been pushing me to go for that in 2026. So bear with me as I am learning. Today, I want to talk about 5 spiritual maintenance practices that I use on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis to help keep my energy protected. I think it will help a lot of you that may be new to your journey, or maybe you've been struggling on your journey, you've been doing this for a while, and maybe you kind of have forgotten or gotten away from some of those practices. So I want to start out with number 1, which is cleansing your spiritual space, whether that be through using tools such as white sage, dragon's blood sage, any type of incense, Palo Santo, whatever you're really called to. I personally am drawn to more of a traditional white sage. I use dragon's blood sage. I sometimes use mugwort, Palo Santo. It just kind of depends on the day. So for me right now, I have a bundle of just kind of more of a green sage that I've been using for quite a while. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your shell or, any other safe space that you have for burning and kind of set your intention, light your sage, bring it around your house. I personally start from the bottom of my home and work my way up and making sure that you are opening windows, doors, anything that may help the energy kind of move out of the space as much as humanly possible. So you're going to light it, set your intention. And for everybody, this is going to be a little bit different. For me, this is kind of the spiel that I use. I will say something to the effect of angel spirits and guides of our highest good. Please protect my home. Please protect my sacred space. Please remove any negative entities or attachments that may be finding a home in this dwelling. And sometimes, quite frankly, I have to use some coarse language. Sometimes I have to tell energy to get the fuck out of my house. It just kind of depends what's going on. But I typically will start from the bottom up and I will go room to room, cleansing and clearing the spaces and mirrors throughout, and just using this tool. And yeah, like I said, make sure you definitely open those windows and doors to let that energy out. Because when I was first starting out, one of my really good mentors told me, "You're just pissing the energy off. You're not actually getting it out of the space." So that's kind of a word to the wise. Make sure that you are absolutely opening those doors and windows and letting that energy out. I don't necessarily believe that any certain spiritual tool or practice belongs to any one spiritual, belief or cultural group. I don't really believe in that. To each their own. I don't believe that I'm disrespecting any certain group by utilizing some of these sacred spiritual tools. So just wanted to put that out there. The second thing that I use on a very regular basis are egg cleanses. And I typically have just kind of like a carton of eggs, not the whole thing, but probably like a half a carton of eggs on my stovetop at any given time with room temperature eggs. That's definitely what you're going to want to use. And I typically just roll the egg over my body, top to bottom, with special emphasis on my third eye area, my hands, and my feet. This is something that I have been doing for a couple of years now, and it really does make a difference. If you're noticing that your energy is very low, your vibration is off, the vibe in your home and your relationships with your family and friends are just kind of off, getting into arguments and just kind of taking on energy that really doesn't feel like yours, I would strongly encourage the egg cleanse. And typically, if you're having difficulties with your energy, I would recommend doing an egg cleanse once a day for about a week until you really kind of see that energy shift out, depending on what you're dealing with. Sometimes less, sometimes more. But I think most of you that have been on this journey a while, you can kind of tell when that energy has moved out of your energy space in your field. And if not, just ask your guides. They'll let you know. But typically with the egg cleanse, what you're going to want to do is set your intention. Again, calling in your angel spirits and guides of your highest good and really asking them to remove anything from your aura, from your mind, body, or soul that doesn't belong to you. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to crack that egg into a glass of water. I typically like to use a glass because then you can actually see and read that egg cleanse. the one thing that you always want to be cautious of and make sure you never do is to view your egg cleanse over the top of your glass. You never want to look over top of it because everything that you've just removed has now come right back to you. That's my personal belief. So my best advice is to crack the egg, let it sit on your countertop for about 10 minutes, and then come back to it to then go ahead and read it. If you want more information on how to read your egg cleanses, I would highly recommend checking out other videos on TikTok, YouTube, anywhere that you view social content. There's a lot of really great content on how to actually read those cleanses. I'm not going to go through that today. The third thing that I want to go over is crystals and the use of them. Everybody has a different view and vibe on crystals, but for me, I'm very much drawn to them. They're very much a collective spiritual tool that I've used throughout many lifetimes. And for me, the ones that I'm drawn to the most, I would say for just general maintenance of spiritual protection, would be black tourmaline. I tend to like the raw crystals a little bit more than the polished, just because for me, it feels more connected to the actual earth. That's just a personal preference, but any crystals, obviously, that you're called to will help. But the black tourmaline specifically is going to help to draw that negative energy out, any energy that is just heavy, that you're having difficulty with processing. You can just put a piece of this, hang on to it, put it in your pocket. For women, maybe, put it in your bra, maybe not this large of a piece, but you can also put them in your windowsills, above your doorways, in your office if you work in an office, in your vehicle, anywhere where you sleep, anywhere that you feel that you need extra protection. You can always call on the black tourmaline to assist with that. Then I have the selenite wand. These are regenerating crystals. So these are kind of like a master crystal. They do not need recharged in the moonlight, full moon, new moon. That's not something that these really require. And they are amplifiers and absorbers and protectors. They kind of have a combo of benefits. And I typically do put these above the doorways, in the windowsills, and then I also put them at the head of the bed and the foot of the bed for myself and for my child. It's just something that adds a little bit extra protection and amplifies some of your spiritual gifts as well. So I really like the selenite for that purpose. It also can help recharge your other crystals. So if you have like a larger selenite wand and you want to recharge certain crystals, you feel like they just haven't been cleansed properly, then you can use the selenite to do that. For general crystal maintenance, you do want to typically recharge those in the new moon and the full moon. I don't necessarily go for, eclipses or any of those things that people say, oh, don't do that during that. I don't really buy that. I think that eclipses are very powerful and I think they're very useful energy to help our crystals regenerate. So for me, I'm always going to be a yes during an eclipse. I would always put my spiritual tools out to be recharged, even if it's an eclipse. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Then spiritual baths and showers. Those are very much a part of my, not possibly everyday practice, but almost everyday practice. And I will typically just go ahead and gather some herbs in a little mesh sack. And I typically just kind of go with whatever my guides are telling me at the time. So for me, I use a lot of lavender for stress relief. I use a lot of like rose petals for self-love. I use a lot of different protective herbs because for me, it's really about protection and getting the sovereignty of my energy back. 9 times out of 10, that's what my spiritual baths or showers are going to be about. For me, I do obviously use Reiki, so I can draw the Reiki symbols, over the shower, over the bath, and just really set that intention that I'm going to be receiving that energy during those cleansing baths and showers. For me, I am a water transmitter. So for me, I get a lot of my information, downloads from spirit, guidance on what I'm supposed to do next in my spiritual journey while I am in water. I will typically get information on family and friends, loved ones that need my energy, need Reiki sent to them, assist them with things. And that will typically come to me in either a shower or ritual bath. So that's something that you can obviously use as well for your practice. And the last but not least is frequency healing and sound healing. I am a firm believer in the information and the music and the frequencies that you are interacting with on a regular basis has a huge impact in your energetic field, your vibration, and your overall mood. For me, I personally use a frequency of some kind throughout the night when I am sleeping. I find that that really helps to reset my nervous system. It helps to clear my energetic field while I am sleeping. And I typically am drawn to whatever it is I need at the time. I really pick something different each time. I obviously use YouTube Premium because for me, I like to have access to that music without advertisements, without anything that's going to wake me up in the middle of the night and scare me, like, that it shifted to a different video or something. So I typically will take like at least an 8-hour video of a certain frequency that I feel I need. For me, 432 hertz frequency is kind of that general God frequency, love frequency, something that I'm always drawn to. 528 hertz frequency for divine feminine energy and resetting your own power and sovereignty. I am really drawn to that as well. And you'll really know what it is that you need at the time if you're really starting to listen to yourself, to your intuition, and to your guides. And if you don't, you can always just type in frequency healing meditation music. And then whatever comes up, whatever you're drawn to, whatever one you select, that's typically the one that you need. So don't always overthink it and think, oh my gosh, I have to have the exact frequency or need to know everything. You just don't. The way that I practice, the way that my spirituality has evolved over the past few years, I just don't really follow any rule or say, oh, you must do this. I just don't believe in gatekeeping. I just believe in do what you're called to do, trust your own intuition, and your guides are never going to steer you wrong. So I hope this helps, and I hope that you share this with someone that you love. Have a great day. Namaste, friends.